I was like, I think everyone's gonna leave after Sean, and then I'll be speaking to an empty crowd. But you guys stick around, so thank you for that. Okay, so who in here has some goals you want to hit for 2019? Do those involve helping people? Do they involve helping your family? Making a little extra income? Making some impact? Okay, good. Do you guys all know exactly how you're going to hit your goals? No. Good. That's what we're going to talk about. So they launched the Success Club system tracker, and I had a bunch of coaches on my team doing it while it was kind of in beta testing, and it's legit, you guys, okay? So we're going to just do a simple training on it. I'm going to walk you through it. I'm going to explain what it looks like, and when you have an hour to work your business, or like an hour and a half or whatever it is on here, this is the stuff you're going to do. You're not going to scroll, you're not going to create graphics, you're not going to do anything else. This is the stuff you do first, then you can do anything extra, okay? So, first, am I supposed to have a clicker? Oh, okay. Right here. Okay. So, this is just broken down into little sections. Like Kevin said, this is in the Beachbody Champions page. If I were you, I would go print out however many weeks there are, have them all ready to go, and commit to filling this out every week, okay? So, first on there is your why. Why would that even be on there? Because if you don't show up with a purpose, then there's no reason to even show up. Because your energy transfers, if you're feeling blah about why you're sending your invites, and why you're connecting, and why you're expanding, and why you're even doing any of the things that you're doing for your power hour, then it's gonna go, it's gonna fall on deaf ears, okay? So you need to get clear on why you're even doing this, and I mean really clear. Let your vision drive your actions every single day. And then your target market. This is super important to understand who you're talking to. Who do you want to find? Who do you want to reach out to? Who do you want to connect with? And we're not talking like, I want to reach out to a 26-year-old blonde who's really cute and she has 3 kids. Like, that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the type of person. So like for me, I always said, my type of person is any human who just wants to better their life. That person looks really different. If you look at my team, I'm doing a team retreat right now, and I was looking around the room last night as we were all sharing stories and talking. They're so different, you guys. So different. They range from like 20 to, how old are you, Shereen? 50, what? 54, she's a rock star. But they're so different. So I'm not looking for a type of person, I'm looking for a human that wants to better their life. So get clear on who you want to reach out to. Then you can show up with way more intention, all right? Okay, so section number 1, be proof the product works. This is like a no-brainer, but how many coaches don't do this every single day? A lot of coaches, all right? So the first thing that you can do to rock your business is to rock your own personal journey every single day. If you're not incorporating the entire Beachbody like ecosystem into your life, you should. The workouts, Shakeology, Performance Line, Nutrition System, the beach bars, the boost, like everything that you can replace with another item, you should replace. Because the more you use, the more you believe it, the more you can talk about it, the more you can share about it, the more authentic you are, the more confident you are, just everything gets better when you use the products first, okay? So, don't do anything in your business until you take care of yourself, all right? Number 2, this is the bulk of the business drivers, all right? So this is kind of the IPA section. We call this the income producing activities. These are lots of the things that most people skip because they're not very fun and they're really easy not to do. But I can promise you, if you want to grow your business, if you want to make an impact, if you want to increase your income, if you want to increase the number of lives you're changing, this is the stuff that has to get done, okay? So, what does this look like? I need to look at here because I can't even see it with my glasses on. Hold up. All right, initiate connections and add followers. So, like, who said it on the video with the times? Oh, Carrie was talking about she loves the times. This is something that my coaches love too because it helps them stay focused and intentional. So get a timer, get one of those blocks that has like the times that you can set it, and you can go balls to the wall. Can I say that on stage? For 20 minutes and be super intentional. When notifications come up, when messages come in, you don't look at them. You're connecting, you're expanding whatever these doing, you're doing that thing. If you guys can learn how to be disciplined and focused, your business will change. That, like, if you can learn that one skill, everything in your life will get better. It really will. So, the first thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna initiate connections and add followers. Why? Because if you're not growing your following, if you're not growing the eyeballs that are seeing your posts, you're not growing your business. End of story. You cannot talk to the same 500 people and expect them to all of a sudden get on board for whatever reason if they're not ready. You have to be constantly growing, expanding, talking to new people, getting to know them, loving on them. This is the fun part. This is when we get to meet new friends. We get to connect with humans who are awesome. We get to just really surround ourselves with whoever we want. So be intentional about this part. It's not a quantity thing, it's a quality thing. And this is why it's super important that you're clear on who you want to connect with. So what does this look like for a second? This means you have my favorite way to expand. I do most of my stuff on Instagram now. And instead of hashtags work, if you can get really like niche market, those can work. But my favorite way is to go to a target account. So I find like a mom, or I find a fitness person or whatever outside of Beachbody that is my vibe, that would attract the same type of person that I also want to get to know. So I go to their page, and then I simply use their followers and the people commenting on their stuff and liking their posts as kind of a home base to find new people all in one spot. So I'm not searching all of the places and like I don't know, just getting super distracted. I go to one place and then I find 50 new people that I follow. And then I add them to a collection so that they can be in one place. And then when it's my power hour and it's time for this to do it, it's time for this again, I go to that collection and I interact with those people.
What's a collection?
Oh heavens, okay. That is on Instagram. Go to YouTube and say collections on Instagram and it will teach you what a collection is, right? But it's basically like a folder.
Yeah, folder.
Like on Facebook, they have interest lists. It's like a folder. You can save it. You go to the picture. There's like a little bookmark on the right underneath the picture. You click that, save it to the collection, and then it's in a place that you can name the collection and have them all there.
Yeah.
Okay, does that make enough sense for those of you that don't know?
Yeah.
But really, like, Google it or look it up on YouTube and it'll explain it. But those have been game changer for me because that's the easiest way for me to track. I have an 11-month-old, so I work 99% of my business from the rocking chair while I'm nursing. And so I do everything on my phone, and that's how I do it, is collections, okay? So go to the collections with intention, love on those people. Love on them, love on them, love on them, love on them. Be interested in their life, just connect with them. Then let the invites, which is further down, let those happen more organically. Don't feel like, okay, now I gotta go send 5 invites and I'm just gonna randomly find people. Lots of your invites should be happening within the conversations because you're leading them, you're getting to know them, and all we're doing, you guys, is we're listening for a problem and we're then providing a solution. Who thinks that we have a solution that could legit like help anyone? In some way, nutrition, fitness, mindset, emotional wellness, financial, accountability, community, like there's so many different things that we offer. So as you're talking to these new people and you're getting to know them and you're just caring about them and being a nice human, you're then hearing their struggles and then you're saying, hey, have you ever thought about doing this? You should jump in one of my groups. This is exactly what we do. And they're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And you're like, I would love to fill you in, okay? So lots of your invites can happen organically when you're in conversations with people in a deeper level than just, hey girl, I like your shirt. Hey girlie, your baby's cute. Like, you gotta actually get to know people, and then it gets really fun, okay? Second one. Oh, this is just like do your own social media posts. So make sure that you're not just working out behind the scenes and not ever talking about it. Don't make sure you're not doing your personal growth and not ever talking about it. just share your journey. All social media is it's our journal of our life. We get to share who we are, all aspects of it. Fitness, health, family, faith, your hobbies, your interests, all the things you love. But one of those, in my opinion, should be something that has to do with your journey. Because if they go to your page and they can't tell that you're even on a health journey or a personal growth journey or a happiness journey or a whatever journey you're on, then they're not gonna know that the storefront is open and they can join you. Okay, so that's just getting your post up, make sure you're sharing. Update your stories. Obviously Instagram stories are like the thing. So if you're not sharing who you are in there, then you should be. And don't overcomplicate it. I know lots of my coaches are like, I'm so afraid to talk to my Instagram stories, and they feel so awkward. I like just openly address that my husband makes fun of me for talking to my invisible friends, and it's fine. Like, that's what I do every single day. But I've met some of the coolest people because I'm just sharing my kids. Most of them don't care about me, but they really like my kids. And so they show up and they watch, and then they'll see snippets of my workouts, and they'll see snippets of my team retreats and my team calls and my personal growth stuff. And that is what plants the seed when you continue to do it over and over and over and over. They watch and they watch and they watch and they connect with you and they see who you are, and you can be real and raw, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be filtered or perfect. They want real. So don't overthink stories. Use it as a kind of behind the scenes of who you are and what you do. Because does anyone struggle adding to your team or growing a team? That's a big struggle. So what's the one thing that you can do to up your recruiting is talk more about coaching. And not just shove it down their face, but it's simply showing what you do. What you do as a coach, the 4 vital behaviors. You can easily show the 4 vital behaviors in a very normal way through your stories. And as people watch, and then when you're in conversation with people and you say, girl, you'd be so fun to work with. Have you ever considered doing what I do? They're not gonna be like, what do you do? They're gonna be like, actually I have, because it kind of looks fun. What, can you tell me more about it? Because you share what you're doing, okay? So just use your stories as a simple journal of your life, just like your posts, but they're even more fun because you can do whatever and it's super fast and they're fun. So make sure that you're just sharing, and I love this because it gives you some ideas. Did you do a workout clip? Did you do your daily life? Like, it gives you some variety, so you can make sure you're doing those things. All right, respond to all likes, comments, and messages. Does it say that? Views. That's story views. So this is just giving you another way to reach out and make connections. So don't feel like you have to, as you grow, you're not gonna have time in 20 minutes or whatever the time says, I can't see, to reach out to every single person. But at the beginning, you probably can. And what this does is you're simply warming up the relationship with the people who are already interested in what you're doing. So you're not randomly going to #FitMama, whatever, and then interacting with them. You're spending intentional focused time on interacting with people who are already familiar with who you are. So that warms up the relationship that much faster with people who are kind of more purposeful because they're already interested in what you're doing. So that's as simple as like if they like your picture or like a transformation post. You can be like, hey Sarah, I totally appreciate your support. This journey is so new. I'm speaking from a new coach. This journey is so new and I get freaked out sharing those transformations, but if I can even help one person, then it's worth it. I just want to say thank you. It means the world. Something like that. And then they're like, oh girl, I love watching your stuff, or I'm so proud of you, or whatever. And you just kind of become friends and you support each other and you cheer each other on and you let the conversation go wherever it goes. You don't feel like I hear this a lot, but when do I turn it into an invite? When do I switch gears and get them into my group? And that's not what we're doing when we're connecting with people. Yes, I feel like I can help any human, and doing what we do in our groups and coaching would bless their life. Absolutely. But it's not right for everyone. Some people are really happy doing what they do. Some people are really not interested whatsoever, and that's fine too. But there's enough people who are, that if I'm talking to enough people, I will find enough people that are looking for this. okay? So that's just helping you take the initiative to warm up that relationship one step further. Don't just let them be cheerleaders on your stuff. Take the extra step to initiate a conversation and just kind of take the relationship up one step further. Okay, invite however many people, fill in the blank, you get to choose this. So if your goals are 5-star elite and you're currently sitting at Emerald, you're probably gonna invite 20, 25 people or whatever that looks like. If maybe your goal is diamond by the end of the year, you could probably invite 5 people a day and be solid. But notice how that is something you do every single day. Now, I will mention, I am also a fan of doing invite blitzes. So sometimes I don't invite every single day. I connect extra on certain days, and then right before I'm filling a group, I'll invite like 100 or 200 people, like all at once, if I'm doing something with like a deadline, extreme urgency. So you can tweak this and figure out what works best for you, but the moral of the story is you have to invite if you want to grow your business, okay? And all we're doing when we're inviting people is we're inviting them to join us on the journey we're on. We're not inviting them to buy some stuff so we can hit some Success Club points and whatever. And if you take the pressure off of you, it's not about you. When we send invites, it's not to hit Success Club, hopefully. When you're sending invites, it's to bless someone else's life. It's to gift them with the opportunity to change their life, change their situation, change their financial struggles. And if you think about that, every time before you do it, you're gonna approach it a lot differently than if you think, oh gosh, dang it, it's the 31st, I need to hit Success Club, and oh my gosh, I gotta send 25 invites. It's gonna come across totally different, okay? That was one of the things that I struggled with at the beginning, was sending invites, because I'm like, I don't wanna bug them. I don't want them to think I'm selling them crap. I don't want them, I had all these lame things going on in my head. And when I finally was like, why am I inviting them? This has transformed my life 100%. This has transformed my coaches' lives. I would be selfish if I did not gift this to as many people as I can. And I have learned over the past 5.5 years that people will watch you for years and years and years and years and never reach out because they are so scared. They have all their limiting beliefs holding them back, and until you open the door and say, girlfriend, come do this with me, then they'll be like, oh my gosh, I've been watching you for 3 years. Thank you. Tell me more about it. You just never know. So do not hold us back from people, okay? Follow up with people. This one is so important. Make sure that you're tracking, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Like I talked about, I also have a follow-up collection. So the way that I do things is I send my invites. I actually don't track who I send invites to because they're already in my collections that I'm connecting with, but I track who then wants information. So as soon as they say, yeah, send me more info, they go in my follow-up collection. So that if they don't fill out my application, or if they don't follow through with getting into a group or whatever, I can check back in with them a few days later, or maybe at the end of the month when I have a couple of spots left, I say, hey girlfriend, I know that you're interested in this, I would really love to work with you. Is this still something you want to do? And so if you're not tracking, you cannot follow up. And if you haven't read any sales books or anything like that, it takes 8 times on average? Is it 8? 7? Maybe it's 7.5 times for people to hear about it, and 7 touches until they finally follow through. That's a lot of touches. So make sure that you're doing this part and don't skip it, all right?
Oh no. Oh no.
All right, we're good.
Oh no.
One thing that I want to say about this, hopefully I don't need that, it's probably work. When you're following up, I also have coaches that struggle with this because they're like, I don't want to be pushy. I don't want to be weird. I don't want to be that person that bugs them. And like I said with the invites, it is not about you when you're following up. They expressed interest, or they are showing support on your stuff, or whatever reason you've invited them in the first place. You're simply remembering them enough to check in and follow up. And so don't make it about you, make it about them. Hey, I didn't want you to think I forgot about you. I know you're interested. I just wanted to check in and see if it's the right time. I have 2 spots left. You ready to go? Something simple, okay? All right. I think I broke this too.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I really did break it. We're good. Forward arrow. We're good. All right. Now, the third thing that we get to do when we show up to work is we get to get people results. So this means that we're contributing to a challenge group. So whether or not you're hosting it yourself or you're just in a challenge group, maybe you have some people in it, maybe you don't even have anyone to help yet. Be in a challenge group for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And if you can commit to that, you will stay on your journey. And if you can commit to that, you will be able to inspire others, okay? So contribute to a challenge group, whether you're just posting and checking in, whether you're loving on people, whether you're running the group, that's the check, all right? Recognize achievement. Be mindful of people who are showing up, of people who are doing well, of people who are whatever. Be mindful of those things, because the secret sauce in this business, you guys, and we were talking about this last night at the retreat, is empowering people. That's your challengers, and that's your coaches. And so every chance that you have to love on people and to recognize them, that is going to build them up and help them have a little bit more confidence and help them have a little bit more courage to stay on their journey, to continue to show up, to continue to change their life, and hopefully to continue or to then coach with you so that they can really transform and pay it forward even more. So recognize achievement. And the next thing is respond to questions from customers and coaches. This seems like a no-brainer. I'm like, why would you not respond to questions to coaches? But you wouldn't imagine how many people have like inboxes full of unanswered messages. So just make sure that maybe it's by the end of the day, you clear out your inbox, you clear out your messages, you respond to the comments that are going on in your challenge group, and you just really are engaged and plugged into the people that you're helping. Oh yeah, okay. We're almost done, you guys. Is this helpful at all?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, and number 4, personal development. This is like my jam. If you are going to spend any extra time doing the things on here, maybe you're like, I actually have 3 hours to work my business. So do I just like do this again, or what do? I would up this like crazy, because the more that you can grow your mindset, the more you could overcome those limiting beliefs, the more you could just really have that extra courage to do the things that scare you, the faster your business will grow. All right? So do at least, this says 15 minutes, I would up that.
Yeah.
For sure. But 15 minutes minimum, like that's gonna get you on a solid foundation, a good jump start. What I do is, like when you're connecting with people and you're on Instagram and you're just kind of liking, commenting, like just engaging, whatever, that doesn't really take all of your brain power. So I always have PD flowing when I'm doing that type of stuff. When you're driving, when you're in the shower, when you're whatever, like find time to fit this in, because this is when you will see a full transformation in your own life, and that's when it's so easy to talk about your journey and so easy to talk about coaching, because your own life is changing, and this is the thing that's going to affect it more than anything else. And then lastly, your weekly business results, and this is simply tracking what's actually going on. What are your numbers? Is your following growing? You need to be tracking this. You need to be mindful. Is your Instagram number going up or is it going down? It should be growing every single week. So that's why it's on here. Track that and make sure that you're being intentional about growing the eyeballs on your stuff. How many challengers have you helped? How many coaches have you helped? Where are you at for Success Club? If you're not paying attention to these things, they're not gonna happen. If I'm not posting about a challenge group, or I'm not posting about filling my team or opening spots or being intentional about these things, they don't happen. As much as you guys think top coaches have people flocking to them or whatever, they don't. I actually do this stuff every single day, you guys. Every day. This is the stuff that grows your business. So make sure you're tracking it, and make sure that you then, I think like on Sunday, or maybe you don't work on Sunday, on Saturday, you take a minute and you kind of do a self-eval, okay? What did I do this week that worked? What did I do this week that didn't? Kind of what can I work on for the following week? And this area where you have your numbers is a good indication of what worked and what didn't. If your success numbers didn't go up, what can you do this week to be more intentional about filling a challenge group? What can you do this week to be more intentional about building your team and helping more people get started on their coaching journey? So this is just a simple way to keep you focused on the stuff that's actually going to drive your business. Because while we all sign up to help some people, it's really, really, really frustrating when you try to do things to help people, but you actually don't do the things, and then you're hearing it from your spouse, like, what are you doing? Why are you on your phone? And you're like, I don't know. You guys, simplify your life. Do this stuff. Cut out the other stuff. And then I promise you, you will see growth. You will see momentum happen. You will see traction come in your business. You will find what works for you. You'll find your groove. And then you can add in some other stuff if you want. But this stuff does not deviate. This is the stuff that builds everything in your business, okay? So if you can master these things, you will be able to reach any goal that you have in this business. I can promise you that, all right?